Hello, good morning, dear students. I hope that you have completed the second method of national income method. Now, today the next method, the final expenditure method. Let's see the final expenditure method. There are the three total method. One is the production method, income method, and the last is a expenditure method. According to this method, national income is measured in the terms of expenditure on the purchase of final goods and services produced in the economy during an accounting year. We know very well the national income we want to calculate here, either product method, gross value of output, income method, or expenditure method, but same GDP. In the terms of expenditure, obviously that expenditure method is lies here. So we will be do expenditure during an accounting year within a domestic territory on the purchase of final goods and services. Mean the total expenditure done by the private expenditure, government expenditure, what types of the expenditure, the all expenditure we will be included here. The purchase of final goods and services, only final, take care that purchase of final, not intermediate goods, final goods and services, purchase of final goods or maybe services produced in the economy during an accounting year. This will be calculated here in the expenditure in the national for the calculation of a national income. Let's see the component of the final expenditure one by one. The final expenditure method, component of the final expenditure, final consumption expenditure method. The one is final consumption expenditure, the first major segment, major component. The second is gross domestic capital formation. Mean here in this point we will be study who that do such type of the expenditure and which type of the expenditure is done by the final consumption expenditure and capital formation and net export. Then we will be included the term 1, 2 and third is equal to the GDP MP. So let's see here. First, the final consumption expenditure. There are the two types of the final consumption expenditure is that is done by here. The first is the government final consumption expenditure. The one is left private final consumption expenditure. All over the country, you can find out here. There are the two major person. There are the two major institution. There are the two major organization who done such type of the expenditure on the purchase of for the consumption purpose, either government or private people. Okay, government or private people. Let's say the government final consumption expenditure. Which type of the expenditure you will be include here? It refers the expenditure on the government final consumption expenditure refer to the type of the expenditure by the government, like purchase of goods for the consumption by the defense personnel for the personal mean here for the department personnel, PERSONNEL. It's not personal, it's a personal meaning for the purchase of department. So this type of the expenditure that mainly done by the government, like is a defense expenditure included in the government final consumption expenditure. Next is private final consumption expenditure. Private consumption except mean that non-profit private, this is a private expenditure for the profit motive, like is a consumer services also, durable goods also, that which is repeatedly for the several use, like is a furniture, washing machine, whatever that we know very well which type of the expenditure is generally done by our people. These are all come in the private final consumption expenditure for our consumption purpose. The old type of the government final consumption expenditure and the private final consumption expenditure. This is a one category, the final consumption expenditure. If government is given, private is also given, and then final is also given, then both we will be ignore. That time we will be include only final consumption expenditure. If final expenditure is not given in the question, then we will be include only government final consumption expenditure, then private final consumption expenditure. By chance the final private expenditure is not given, that types of the expenditure is given, like is a that consumer purchase durable goods and services, so we will be considered as private final consumption expenditure, and we will be included as a private final. The both the which I that told you, both will be included in the final consumption expenditure. Next measure, it's a very important point. Try to understand gross domestic capital formation. It's a given here as gross, and the second is a domestic capital formation. And capital formation, either there are the two types. One is a fixed capital formation, and one is a other fixed capital formation. Other is a inventory. Inventory investment, gross domestic fixed capital formation, gross domestic fixed investment. There are three types, because here I that is a gross domestic fixed. Fixed are three types. One is gross domestic fixed investment. It consists business fixed investment. Then second is government fixed investment. Fixed investment business purpose. Therefore, you can say that household purpose, and the last is household, government, and one is a business purpose. There are the three type of the fixed investment. The one is household person, then second is government fixed investment, and one is a businessman. So these are included in the gross domestic fixed capital formation, or plus change in stock, inventory investment, change in stock either, or inventory investment. Out of the two, any one point may become in the question. So we will be included here. If the change in stock is given, or inventory investment. How to calculate change in stock? Closing stock minus opening stock. Again, try to understand. It's a given is a gross. Net also may become. For the net and the gross, there is a one difference is here, only depreciation. Only depreciation. Gross domestic fix is given. If only gross domestic capital formation is given, so it means that both we have included fix and inventory. But if fix is given, the one part is left, inventory. Both are very important. One is fix or one is a inventory. If fix is given, then we have included a inventory. But directly given gross domestic capital formation, so it means that it considered both already included. And the last is left, net export, export minus import, export minus import. This is a third point. Then we included this, the final expenditure method, GDP, 1 plus 2 plus 3 3. One mean here final consumption expenditure. Second is gross domestic capital formation, the one gross domestic capital formation, and third is the net export, that we have calculated here GDP, MP, 1, 2, 3, the three GDP. Then after how to calculate GDP, NDP. If you want to calculate NDP, that on the basis of MP, we know say that MP. So how to calculate is equal to GDP, the minus DEP, depreciation is equal to, this is NDP. Now we want to calculate NNP, MP. Yeah. How to calculate? Yes, please. GDP, NNP. N mean here that net national product. Clear? NNP. How to calculate NNP? Net national product, net factor income from abroad. We will be included in NDP, 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 MP plus net factor income from abroad. Clear? This will be included net factor income. It's become NDP. Yes, it become NNP. NNP. Now NNP. We want to calculate here FC. FC is equal to NNP MP minus net indirect tax minus net indirect tax. This total calculation is equal to NNP, net national income. We can check here after GDP, NDP mean net domestic product. GDP minus depreciation, it's become net. We have convert only that one word G convert कर दिया हमने, that in N. Now NNP, net national product, net national product is equal to N for again net domestic product, MP is given, plus net factor income from abroad, it's converted into the national income. NNP is, it was given on MP, but how to calculate the NNP on FC basis? FC net national product MP minus net indirect tax. This is a NNP FC. This is the main target of national income. When we say national income, it always consider NNP FC. NNP FC. Again, please check here. Today we are doing here the final expenditure method. How to calculate expenditure method refers to the purchase of final goods and services during an accounting year by the government, by the private person within accounting year. There are three major segments you can note down in your book also. Final consumption expenditure, by the government final consumption expenditure, or private final consumption expenditure. Gross, second point is gross. This is a very complicated point, so take care when you do that point. Gross domestic is given. When the domestic is given, capital formation same, gross domestic, so it divided into two category. One is the fixed capital formation, one is the fixed because the in gross domestic capital formation is also called, and the next point is this is called here formation investment. This is a part of a investment, or investment we can do either on a fixed or inventory. हम दो तरीके से इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं. वन इज द मे बी दैट फिक्स कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट, और वन इज investment on the inventory investment, stock also, both are the same thing. Either we can say the stock or inventory, both are the same thing. If we do the fix, when we assume here, we consider if we are going to start the fixed capital formation, again it divided into two categories. Who will do such type of the fixed investment? This type of the fixed investment is generally may be done by the household side for the making of the construction house, for the residential construction. Clear? Household will do. Government will do for the purchase of various types of the goods, for the making of the building also, hospital also, infrastructure also, school also, waterworks also, flyover also. So this is generally done by the from the side of the government side. This is a fixed investment. And the many also, you know, the government plant also, flyover also, airport also, So bus stand also. So this is called come in the category of the government fixed investment. And the business fixed investment, it may be also fixed investments, making of the building also, company also, infrastructure also, power energy also. So this is come in the business fixed investment. Come in the category of the fixed capital formation, gross domestic fixed investment. Investment is called, and this is fixed capital formation. Then second types of a gross domestic capital formation, two types, fixed or change in stock. If fixed is given, then we will directly include change in stock. If already is given this concept, gross domestic capital formation, then both fixed or change in stock we will be ignored in the question. We will be not include again because already we have included GDC. And one is net export, easily exports minus import. We can be included. If the question in the question maybe it's only import is given, then we will be minus. Export is given, only will be plus. So then after GDP 1, 2, 3. Then after N D N for net minus depreciation. Then NNP, net national, then net factory income from abroad. So this way we can be calculate we national income, or we can with the help of the expenditure method. I hope that you are getting this video and you will be watch again this video to understand the expenditure method and try to do some numerical concept today, or maybe that tomorrow I will take test and I will send the one question for calculation of national income. Thank you, students.